All right, now I figure I'd start this video, figure out what we have, what we might need. So it looks like we have that's a spindle there. Spindle there and one inside bearing on that one. So we definitely need a outside bearing, and that we got our back caliper brackets. So we have, that's brake pads. That's 4 of them. That has 2 in it, and then there's 2 more in there. So this caliper here, we have pads for, and we have calipers. We got pads for some more right here. So all 4 calipers. So here's my other. Those got the front brackets, I bet. Got some bolts. I guess that's to bolt the rotors to it. Some more bolts, some shims. So it looks like we're gonna need some wheel bearings, inner and outer wheel bearings for both those. Figure this would be a good showing right here for everybody. If you look, so this is with a 15 by 10. You look how close that is. Get her and push this up on. I ain't got it tightened up on here. So I got a 15 by 10. If you look, see how tight that corner is. So anytime you have like a 28-inch tall tire, that tire is going to be about this wide. So anytime you want to put a 10 on a fox body, you have to beat the crap out of this little area right here, from here to there. I use that to hit this section too. I'll show you on the other side, because the tire wants to wind up right here because you're moving it over. See, this tire, if you look, the rim, see, you got plenty of lip here for a 15 by 10, 6.5 back spacing. Like I said, the area that you always have to beat is this area here. See, we're mini tubbing it, so all this is going to finish getting cut out. All this up in here, this frame over. You'll see how much room we're losing the spring because we're going to coil over. The shock's going inboard. So all this is, you'll see all kind of room open up. Figure I'd go ahead and do a video showing y'all before and after. Yeah, see if you can look. See right there how close that is? And that's with an 8-inch rim. 15 by 8, 5.5 back spacing. So basically when you go to a 10, you gain 1 inch here on this side and you gain 1 inch on the other side. Because your back spacing stays the same. The rim's 2 inches wider. The 10's 2 inches wider than the 8. The back spacing is 1 inch deeper, so you gain 1 inch on the outside and 1 inch on the inside. So ideally what you do, if you look at this tire, let me show you on this tire, because I'm gonna go to the tire store later and put some tires on them rims after I polish on them. See how this tire's narrow looking? If you look at the sidewall, how it's sunk in. When you sink that tire in on the sidewall, you give this bevel. See the crown of it? See how the tire, you really only have about here to there. That's about, so you're really only using about 8 inches of tire. If you look real close, you'll see it right there. See the ripple? Boom, right there. Right there's the one spot. On this side right there's the other. So you make the center of that tire balloon when you suck them in. Gives you more sidewall, but it also makes that tire less tread width. So I'm gonna put it on this 10 and I'm gonna show you it's gonna lose that bevel in the middle there. It'll lose that section out of it. You can actually see the way the tire is choppy here, but then right there it's completely smooth looking. It's spinning real hard here, and it's lightly spinning on this. And that's why you get that line right there. You can actually see right where I rubbed. You can look, boom, there. And then there's one right here on the inside. So we're ideally going to a wider rim. You're stretching that tire out, giving it more. You're flattening the center, so where you got more tread width. So let me get these tires swapped later on today. I'm gonna work on it a little bit. See if I can't get this, get all this crap cut out of here and get the mini tubs in it. All right, so I got my shock out of the way here so we can get up in here and cut all this off up through here. I'm also gonna go ahead and step on it and get my spring out of it here in a minute. It looks to me like my torque box looks like it's starting to pull back right here pretty good. So I'll probably get up in here when I get all this cut loose. I'm gonna come up in here and weld that up, tap that back up on it, weld it across top. Somebody welded this before, done a pretty good job. I'm gonna come across top and weld it in. Just to be safe, go ahead and cut all the rest of the stuff, the material out that I need to cut out down through here. Get it all trimmed up, ready to weld in. Get up here and get some of this rubber off so that way it welds pretty decent because we're full of rubber. So let me get this out real quick. I'll be back with you. So I cut me out a spot I could stand. I ended up going through and cutting a little bit more down through here. So I got to mark it again so that way I know exactly where I need to cut it at. We'll get it though. I figured I'd show y'all a little trick with these brackets right here. See how that broke off? So if you leave just enough overhang on it like this, then you can start taking a hammer and you start tapping it. And as you tap it back and forth, it'll turn around and break the spot welds loose. If you got like a single or one that's already, see that one's already been broke loose. But if you can get one of them loose, I can get the next one loose by tapping on it. So these up here is gonna be a little bit more tricky because there's some under the frame rail and stuff. I'll have to take me a bar and a chisel and get up in there. But if you get them moving, you can get them out. I gotta come down here and get this. I was thinking about leaving this one and just slant cut it to add brace to the tub, but we'll see. First, I want to get this one out. I want to get this one out, this one, and this one, and then we'll go from there. So like I was saying, see, I cut this in here. I cut that one there. So I'm gonna come in here like this. Boom. Look. All you get left with is that little spot right there that I just barely hit with a grinder, hit with some primer. Sorry, hit with a grinder, hit with some primer. Took 2 seconds to break that bottom one. Now I'll take the top one, tap it down, start tapping it back up until I get on the brake loose. I'll keep pulling up and down on, but I got that bottom one loose. Now I just gotta get the top one to break. There you go. Got that bottom one loose. So I got that little tab right there. I'll have to grind it. That's a little bit more than what I normally have. So I figured I'd do a video right quick of how I do these tubs, which I remember, ADHD, I'm dyslexic, so how I do this might not make sense to nobody, but it makes sense to me and I know it works. Or it makes sense to other ADHD people that are dyslexic. We're one and the same. But anyways, getting back to it, so these tubs are used, or whatever, they're out of Nigel's car. They cut them out, not planning on ever really using them. So what I got them for free for me, you know. So if you want to look around, you can see the gaps. Some gaps here we need to tighten up. This is pretty tight around through here. This up here, that'll work. I can work with that. I can weld that up. I can weld a pretty good gap. But see that gap back there, how that ain't fitting down? Well, if you look, it's because here, there's a gap here, and then look at also down here, there's a gap there. This area, so what I do, I always bring a pin, and I come in here, just like when I done Nigel's tubs on his car. If this is my gap, I kind of eyeball close to that gap, but I don't want to cut it that thick yet. So what I do, I come over here and I come around and I draw me a imaginary, well, I'm draw a line, not imaginary. I draw a line around from here. I need to trim all this down to here. That right there, trimming this, not so much this. Trimming this here is going to allow the tub to drop, because from here to here is where my area that's keeping that up. But I go ahead and trim this too, because I know when that drops, that overhang here is going to overhang down in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim this one little area. I'm going to come around and cut that. Once I cut that, then I need to start looking in down here about getting that gap tighter. So I'm going to trim that up a little bit, maybe trim on the edge. But we're going to start with this one. I want to get this gap, I want to get this first. Once I get the tub to drop down just a little bit, then we'll get it a little tighter, and we'll draw another line, we'll trim a little more and go from there until we get it exactly how we want it. So now look, I got that cut. See there, look, we got to cut that section here. We're going to trim that line there, we'll get it all the way around. And then I got to start looking up front to figure out why it's up in the air. But we're getting there. All right, you see I got it fitted pretty decently. I still got a little gap up here, got a little gap there at the back. I'm gonna come in here, clean this up a little bit, spot weld it, and then I'm gonna pull this over from the top, flex that, so that way I can piece that together up there. We're getting it. Have it in shortly. So I put 2 little tacks right there. If you can look at the tub, I got it stuck up in here. I got to pick up on everything. First, I want to spot here. I want to pull all this down on the inside. I want to angle, like once I get this up here spotted around pretty good. I get a couple tacks here. I'm gonna lift up on this, and where Nigel's tub, my tub meet, I'm gonna mark it, maybe trim it out, might just overlap it right there. Just pick it up like that and just weld it, seal it back, and that way it'll be good and solid. I get this corner right here fit in on the inside here where I need it. And then, like I said, that should tighten up the gap right on the outside. Once I get all that, I can pull all this. So there's a gap there, but see, we got all this overhang here that we're gonna be able to pull outwards. Once we get everything spotted in, I'll be able to pull that over pretty easily. Spot it all in and get that nice. Then we'll be ready to paint. She ain't gonna be bad. So right there about how she's gonna wind up. See how tight I got it fitted around through there. I'm not worried about pie cutting my frame back here because I don't ever plan on putting a super wide rim on it. I mean, if I ever did, I could always go back in and notch it, but I gotta pull all this over just a little bit. I'm gonna leave it so it can be, if I ever want to put like a 12-inch wide rim on it or whatever, we'd have room. But right now, this is all I need it for. We're gonna have a lot more. I'm gonna stick the rim back up on here and show y'all. So we got plenty of room. If I wanted to run a 12-inch wide rim, this is a 10-inch rim. So if I wanted to add another 2 inches here, I would still have plenty of room for tires. So I'm gonna bring that in just a little bit right here on the back. I'm probably gonna move that to there, and that'll give me the clearance. That way, if I ever needed to come in here, I could always cut it in that section just to get a little bit of tire clearance. But as of right now, I'm liking the fitment. I'm liking where it's gonna be at. So like I said, it should work out pretty good. Right there, we'll have plenty of room, plenty of tire clearance. Welds ain't pretty. I gotta pull that together right there. So I'm gonna get inside and tap this down a little bit. I'm gonna tap that up a little bit after I get all this undercoating off. This is crazy. All right, now don't laugh at the welds. I gotta pull this gap together here. Other than that, all this fits pretty good. All that up there, I'm gonna tap it down a little bit, work on it a little bit. But like I said, I gotta go through and pull this out. But all this yellow stuff, all this undercoating, it's a pain in the butt, but we'll get it. Like I said, I just gotta get it welded in. I went and bought me some silicone, some seam sealer or whatever. I can just go through and seam seal. I'm gonna go down there here and just put spot weld every couple of inches. I ain't gonna weld it in fully. I welded it in fully there. I welded it in fully in the back. Do a couple little spots there, but for the most part, it's just gonna get spotted and then sealed up. We're getting it. So it's been a lot of work getting this tub welded in. But we got it in, so now it's time to seam seal it, throw some paint on it. So it'll look pretty good, I think. I'm gonna finish cleaning it up a little bit more. We'll be good to go. All right, well, she's glued in. What I use this stuff made by Loctite. It's roofing flashing. It's in black. It's polyurethane sealant, kind of like a motor mount. Has real good stretching ability. I need to add a little bit more right there. But if you look, I got it pretty good around through there. Now it's set up for about an hour, and then we can turn around and paint it. It's gonna look pretty good. We got it painted. The paint's still drying, so it don't look the best. It's gonna be satin black, so it's not gonna have a shiny coat to it once it dries. So we painted the inside too. We went ahead and just sprayed it. So like I said, it's not gonna look bad at all. Gonna turn out pretty good. Still I gotta redo that brake line right there too, because the aerospace brakes, it does away with that stuff. All right, well, it's been a long day. Been a tired night, but we got that one tub in, so that's a good thing. So we're gonna end up tomorrow, probably after work, I'll finish cutting the other tub out and the rest of the back floor. Told Nigel to go ahead and order me a piece of aluminum so we can sheet the back floor, so I can go through and start laying the floor down, mounting the fuel cell and everything where it needs to go or whatnot. So I'll probably go over by his shop one day this week, get that took care of. But anyways, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And Caden, you still the rookie of the year in my book. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care how many races they won or nothing. You still the best driver there ever was on 9 races.